Hey guys, Angel here with Compete Elite Strength Conditioning. And today we're going to talk about a recovery piece that's very, very important that a lot of people often neglect, and that is cooling down. Now, immediately post-workout, first thing you want to do is think about decreasing that heart rate and that blood pressure. Because what we don't want to see is that all of a sudden you flop on the ground after a really hard bout, and all of a sudden now your heart has to work extra hard to get blood flowing to where it needs to go. And so what we want to see is a gradual decrease in that heart rate and that blood pressure for anywhere around the realm of about 5 minutes. Now, you can do that with some low intensity activities. I personally prefer to go on a 200-meter walk immediately after finishing. I'll kind of scrape myself up off the ground within 10 seconds, grab my post-workout nutrition, head out of the door, chill out as I'm walking, catch my breath, collect myself, come back in the door, and then as soon as I come back in, stretching and working on that flexibility is a really good time to work on that post-workout while your tissues are still warm. All right, so now understand that this is for more so of your really tight, stiff athletes, although everyone can kind of benefit from stretching in general in order to restore that tissue length and kind of loosen everything back up. Now there's several different kinds of stretching that you can incorporate into your program, the first of which is static stretching. Now depending on who you are, dynamic is also a viable option, and we'll talk a little bit more about these as we get there. And then you have stuff called like self-myofascial release, SMR, which is more along the lines of that foam rolling. And we're trying to change the stigma behind that, not so much as a rolling kind of playful kitten type thing where we actually want to consider smashing your tissues back out to restore that full length. All right, so static stretching right here takes place more along the lines of just kind of touching your toes, holding pieces for several seconds at a time. Believe several textbooks have quoted anywhere from along the lines of multiple 30-second stints of time in a certain position, stretching again those muscle tissues out of your affected groups that day. For example, if you did a very heavy leg day, it might be a good idea to stretch those quads out so you're not super sore the next day. All right. So again, touching toes is one thing you can do, and that's just an example. Again, just basically holding position for an extended amount of time. I believe it takes about 2 minutes before your Golgi tendon organs kind of relax and you kind of let go of that survival reflex of everything tensing up when it's getting pulled on. And so again, alleviating a lot of that tension by holding a position for 2 minutes does not necessarily have to be consecutive. However, I find that personally helps me a lot. All right. Now we're going to talk about the dynamic range here, where mostly I like to lump that in with the PNF stretches or proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Again, PNF, and that's basically where you take a joint to the end range of motion. You hold it there for, I believe, 12 seconds at first. Then you actively contract against that force that you're holding yourself at end range with. You relax, and then you'll actually find that you add a little bit of slack. I've seen a lot of success with this, helping people get into that good front rack position on those front squats, particularly those really big athletes. All right. So again, PNF stretching, end range. Hold, then contract, or basically tense those muscles up as hard as you can, and you can either move back to a neutral position or you can actively hold at that end range. Kind of up to you for your preference. All right, contract / relax. Contracting for about 6 seconds, and then relaxing at a new end range for approximately 30 seconds. All right, we're already at 5 minutes. I gotta hurry up. I'm trying to keep this under 5 minutes, guys, I promise. Relax for 30 seconds. I think you get your SMR, and we'll talk a little bit more about tissue smashing and mobility work in general. But here at Compete Elite, we tend to lump mobility, or excuse me, work in as some of the constituent elements comprising mobility include flexibility and stability. Flexibility and stability, and those two together again comprise joint mobility. So recovery, as far as cooling down goes, immediately post-workout, get that heart rate, stabilize that blood pressure. Stretching immediately after, static stretching, touching your toes. Dynamic stretching, that proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, or that PNF stretching. End range, hold, contract. 6 seconds, relax for another 30. Do that about 3 to 5 times until you stop seeing tissue length change. Bare minimum, twice. All right, SMR, foam rolling. This is where we introduce a hard surface